From EWTN, the Global Catholic Network, this is EWTN News Nightly.
Thank you for being with us. Our top story tonight. As we know, Labor Day weekend marks the unofficial end of summer, and many celebrate the day with backyard barbecues or a last day at the water. But its beginning marked a significant change in American history that brought improved pay and working conditions for many, including Catholic migrants. Capitol Hill correspondent Eric Rosales joins us with the details.
Good evening. The halls of Congress are empty this Labor Day as Americans celebrate the national holiday with a day off from work. But many may not realize that the birth of Labor Day began in the 19th century with violent protests, strikes, and even riots for better working conditions and pay.
In 1894, as I noted, President Grover Cleveland, signed it into law amidst the Pullman strike, which was both probably a sop to unionists, but also to the working class, both of which he believed were like growing kind of electorates.
Ryan Reft is a historian in the manuscript division of the Library of Congress.
I mean, Labor Day was first established as an event in 1882 by the Central Labor Union in New York City, which was like an umbrella group that leaned socialist, had Marxist members, but also had pro-capitalist reform members, craftsmen, and probably nationalities or ethnicities from across Europe.
The march by thousands resembled a strike and brought together communities of unionized workers and their leaders. 5 years later, in 1887, Oregon became the first state to make Labor Day an official public holiday. By 1894, 30 states were celebrating it as well. The marches and parades showed the public and the media that workers, despite being immigrants, were Americans simply looking for improved working conditions, pay, and a better life.
Many of the members of the unions were Catholic. Particularly in this later stage of immigration from 1880 to 1920, you've got Italians, you've got Slavs.
Since then, Labor Day has evolved to simply enjoying the day off from work with family and friends. For lawmakers, Labor Day is about both.
Celebrating those who built this country, those who went to work, those who occupied the factories, those who use a God-given talent.
My son's birthday's this weekend, and we'll be going to an Aggie football game and kicking off the fall in Sure Texas style. So.
Bottom line, enjoy the day off from work, but never forget the sacrifices of the early workers of the past who helped build America's strength, prosperity, and well-being. At the Capitol, Eric Rosales, EWTN News Nightly.
And now we're happy to bring on Dr. Matthew Bunson, Vice President and Editorial Director of EWTN News. Matthew, it's great to be with you to discuss this very exuberant topic.
Yeah, always great to be with you, it really is.
Well, we just heard Pope Leo describe why he chose his name, citing both rerum novarum and artificial intelligence, which we know is the issue of the day. And he's spoken constantly on this impact of AI on humanity. How would you characterize his outlook?
Well, first we have to give a lot of credit to Pope Francis, who was way ahead of the curve in so many different ways than society in general in his warnings and reflections on AI. We had that great document, Antiqua et Nova. Pope Leo XIV is then building on this legacy. And one of the things that he has spoken specifically about in terms of AI is its massive impact on society. But he's looking at it from obviously the material aspect, the technological, but also the spiritual and the intellectual. He has warned, for example, about the potential impact of AI on the cognitive and neurological development of children who are using AI with greater frequency, what impact that might have, as well as the impact it is having on families who are themselves becoming subject to AI technology. So what he wants to do is to bring the wisdom of the church in exactly the same way that Leo XIII did to the Industrial Revolution, to this new revolution, being cognizant, again, of what Pope Francis said, that this isn't simply an era of change, it's a change of era.
Well, that's a really kind of philosophical understanding of the concept, but how does AI actually affect the dignity of workers today and looking forward, looking ahead?
Well, one of the things that we're already seeing is its ramifications for work. Creation. So, for example, in the area of journalism, we're seeing the impact of AI in its use in drafting stories, in making work more difficult in some ways for the consumer. of news. Is this actually human-generated? Generative AI is especially problematic for that because it lacks the human wisdom. And Pope Francis warned about it. Pope Leo XIV is also speaking about it. And then the long-term ramifications it may have on industries, on the use of technologies, on the development of software. So it's cutting across all of the lines in exactly the same way that the Industrial Revolution did in the late 19th century.
Now, one of the other poverties that we're seeing is a lack of work. Yeah. There's a lot of homelessness out there, but a lot of it comes from not being able to get a job. What does the church then say about a poverty that comes from a lack of work and what that does to the human spirit? Yeah,
this is obviously a deep concern for the church and has been for a very, very long time. Work, the dignity of work, connects us to the creation of God's creation. So we are participating and continuing to participate in God's creative work. So the dignity itself then is found in labor itself. It is also the ability for us to achieve our own skills, the talents that God gives us, and to live out our human dignity. When we're deprived of work, there's several things can happen. There is the shame that is often accompanied by it. It is the loss of self-esteem. It is the way that the loss of work can fracture entire families. It can lead to addictive behavior. It can lead also, as we have seen, to social unrest, the introduction of really toxic solutions to that, such as socialism and atheistic communism.
Well, Matthew, that's really, I think, a good way to kind of put a pin into the consequences of all of this. We're so grateful for your expertise.
Great to be with you.
Servant of God Dorothy Day co-founded the Catholic Worker Movement. She spent the majority of her life aiding the poor and the homeless, and now she's an American candidate to be declared a saint. But her life did not begin on the path to holiness. In fact, quite the opposite. Tara Mergener has more.
Born in 1897, her life spanned most of the 20th century. During her early adulthood, she wrote for a socialist newspaper, pursued a bohemian lifestyle, involved herself in communism, and had extramarital affairs. What transformed everything for Day was discovering she was pregnant. She had an abortion years earlier, which she considered one of the greatest tragedies of her life. Her new infant daughter seemed nothing short of a miracle. Overwhelmed with gratitude, she wanted her child to be baptized in the Catholic Church. As Day became increasingly interested in the faith, she converted to Catholicism in 1927. After that, she dedicated her life to defending the dignity of the human person. She co-founded the Catholic Worker Movement to aid the poor and homeless, saying in 1950, "I do not know how to love God except by loving the poor." Pope Francis took note of this during his address to Congress in 2015.
In these times, when social concerns are so important, I cannot fail to mention the servant of God, Dorothy Day, who founded the Catholic Worker Movement. Her social activism, her passion for justice and for the cause of the oppressed were inspired by the gospel, her faith, and the example of the saints.
Almost immediately after Day's death in 1980, controversy arose whether she should be declared a saint by the Church. None other than New York's Cardinal John O'Connor opened the cause for possible beatification and canonization. In a letter to the Holy See, he wrote, "The conversion of mind and heart that she exemplified speaks volumes to all women today on two fronts. First, it demonstrates the mercy of God, mercy in that a woman who sinned so gravely could find such unity with God upon conversion. Second, it demonstrates that one may turn from the ultimate act of violence against innocent life in the womb to a position of total holiness and pacifism."
Turning now to the spiritual side of labor, St. Joseph is the patron saint of workers because he taught Jesus the trade and craft of carpentry. With that, the child Jesus engages in skilled physical labor with his earthly father. Pope Pius XII said St. Joseph was a model of holiness to all workers. Benedict Sierregren has a closer look at St. Joseph the worker.
The Catholic Church has long emphasized the dignity of human work. By working, we fulfill the commands in the Bible to care for the earth and be productive in our labors. Recalling that St. Joseph was a poor and dedicated carpenter, Pope Francis explained in a catechetical series on the saint in 2022 that not enough consideration is given to the fact that work is an essential component of human life and even a path of holiness.
It is good to think about the fact that Jesus himself worked and had learned this craft from St. Joseph. Today, we should ask ourselves what we can do to recover the value of work.
The devotion to St. Joseph the Worker dates back to the Middle Ages. During this time, the faithful started seeing him as a role model.
He takes in the divine word and then he does it.
In a recent interview with EWTN News, Bishop Robert Barron stressed that Jesus' foster father was a faithful and hardworking man.
I've been thinking about Joseph a lot. I found a quote from Jose Maria Escrivá, which I really liked. He said, "The greatest male saint in our tradition was not a pope, not a bishop, not a cardinal, not a priest, not a deacon, not a churchman. He was a layman. He was a husband and an ordinary worker."
By choosing to come to earth as the son of a carpenter, Jesus not only humbles himself and mirrors the creative work of his Father in heaven, but also shows the faithful the sanctity of ordinary work and the dignity of all laborers.
So St. Joseph, the patron of the universal church, the greatest male saint in our tradition. And that should give, I think, hope to a lot of people, who are living ordinary lives. Look to him. And I think what we see, he's the one who provides for and protects the Holy Family. And it's a great masculine fatherly role. And to live that in the most ordinary way in your family is to live heroically.
St. Joseph the Worker reminds us that labor is not simply a means to earn a livelihood, but a fundamental right which expresses and increases man's dignity and a way to become a saint. In Rome, Benedikt Cedergren, EWTN News Nightly.
We have a lot more still to come on EWTN News Nightly, including a blessed occasion, a preview of the canonizations later this week of Carlo Acutis and Pier Giorgio Frassati. On September 7th, Blessed Carlo Acutis will be canonized, making him the first millennial saint. It was originally set for April 27th, but was postponed due to the death of Pope Francis. Despite his short life, Acutis left a formidable legacy and lasting impact on many because of his immense love for Jesus and his use of technology for the glory of God. Anthony Johnson from the EWTN Vatican Bureau has more.
During his life, Blessed Carlo Acutis was a computer coding teenager, but in death, he is the first millennial saint to be. Known for his devotion to Marian apparitions and Eucharistic miracles, he cataloged all of them on a website he designed. His mother says she knew her son will be canonized.
I'm not surprised because few months after he died, he told me, "Mama, I will in my dreams." He appeared me in my dreams, and he said, "Mama, I will be beatified and then I will be canonized." So I was already prepared.
Only 10 days after his diagnosis, Acutis died of a rare type of leukemia at the young age of 15. Despite the rapid progression of his illness and the fact he knew the end was near, the young boy showed a supernatural peace and readiness for death.
For Carlo, death was the passage through life. And for Carlo, his love was Jesus. So when you die, you meet Jesus. The only thing he used to say that we have to live like if each day of our life is the last day of our life. And he said that Carlo used to say that the only things we have to be scared is sin, because this can take us away from the eternity, from Jesus.
Blessed Carlo made many pilgrimages to Assisi in Italy, and that is where his mortal remains rest. So it was fitting that Pope Francis chose the place as the site of the millennial's beatification, just 2 days shy of the 14th anniversary of Acutis' death. Since the day of his passing, thousands of people have come to pray for his intercession at his grave.
And we are very happy because we see that Carlo is doing a lot of good to people, and each day we receive a news of a possible miracle, healings, conversion, people that couldn't have the son or and then became pregnant, or people that had no works, many different type of, but especially healings, and conversion. This is the most important for me, because eternal life is the most important thing.
In Rome, Anthony Johnson, EWTN News Nightly.
And Blessed Carlo Acutis will not be canonized alone. He will be proclaimed saint alongside another young Italian man, Blessed Pier Giorgio Frassati, who died at the age of 24 in 1925. His canonization was originally scheduled during the Jubilee of Youth, until Pope Leo decided to combine his Mass with Carlo's for early September. EWTN Vatican journalist Benedict Sierragren tells us more about his life and his joyful witness to the faith.
Born in 1901, Pier Giorgio grew up in one of Turin's wealthiest neighborhoods and families. His father, Alfredo Frassati, was the owner and director of the national newspaper La Stampa. Despite his wealth, Pier Giorgio was always ready to give to the poor and those most in need. He dedicated himself to social and charitable works, actively participating in Catholic Action, the St. Vincent de Paul Society, and the Dominican Third Order. After school, Pier Giorgio attended the Royal Polytechnic Institute of Turin, where he pursued a degree in mining engineering, so that he could one day serve Christ better among the miners.
It was a deliberate choice. He wanted to prepare for a life dedicated to working with those he saw, and who were widely recognized at the time as one of the most exploited social classes, miners in Europe and across the world. His goal was to become an engineer who could work alongside these disadvantaged workers.
Beyond his commitment to the Catholic lay movement, Pier Giorgio was also an active member of the Italian Alpine Club and often climbed Italy's highest peaks with his friends. On July 4, 1925, at only 24 years old, Pier Giorgio died from a sudden case of polio, most likely contracted while helping a poor family in need. In 1990, Pier Giorgio was beatified by Pope John Paul II, who called him the Man of the Beatitudes, for his exemplary work in bringing comfort and happiness to the poor, suffering, meek, hungry, and in need of mercy.
As John Paul II expressed it, in our century, Pier Giorgio Frassati embodied a credible Christianity, one that actively engages with the world, a faith like a lamp set high to give light to all.
Ahead of his canonization on September 7th, Pier Giorgio's relics were brought from Turin to the Dominican Basilica of Santa Maria sopra Minerva in Rome for the first time for thousands of pilgrims to venerate. To this day, Pier Giorgio continues to be a source of inspiration for young Catholics across the globe.
Pier Giorgio was just a young person like me who loved his faith and lived it in a lively way, and encouraged, his friends and people his age to love Jesus. His service of the poor was also just a really great model for me, but particularly just his zeal for evangelization was special to me, and I think inspiring as a young college student who was growing in her faith and coming to know the Lord.
In Rome, Benedict Sierragren for EWTN News Nightly.
Up next on EWTN News Nightly, isn't that sweet? A girl in North Dakota takes a resourceful path to attend the canonizations this weekend. As the church prepares to canonize Blessed Carlo Acutis, one North Dakota girl is doing everything she can to make sure she's in St. Peter's Square on September 7th. Tilly Van Sembeek has been running a lemonade stand 2 to 3 times a week to raise money to finance her trip to Rome to see the canonization. But it's not just about money, it's also about evangelizing. EWTN's Catherine Hadro had the opportunity to speak to Tilly, her brother Gus, and her mother Allie.
Hello, you guys. So exciting to hear about your business, your thriving lemonade business. Tell me about it. What made you decide to create a lemonade stand?
Well, our friends wanted to go, but then the Pope died, so yeah, they had to reschedule, and so my mom kind of jokingly said, if you pay for your plane ticket, we could go. So we me and Gus started thinking of ways to do it, and we decided on a lemonade stand.
Wow. So how has it been going? Have you met your goal? Do you think you'll be able to go to Rome and see Carlo?
Well, my mom already bought the plane tickets, so we're definitely going.
That's excellent. But Allie, I mean, how do you feel that your kids took this opportunity to start their own business and, I mean, really use it to evangelize with others as well?
Yeah, it's been fun because, again, like she said, I jokingly just said, if you find a way to pay for your plane ticket, we can go, you know, because who has money just laying around to go to Italy? And they really took it on themselves and did it. And it's been fun because a lot of times people will ask, you know, what the lemonade stands for or whatever. And now they have root beer floats and all that too.
And choke cherry ice cream.
Yeah.
Choke cherry sundaes. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's been fun, especially like Gus, he loves telling people about Carlo Acutis while we're sitting there, and he'll tell them, you know, what we're going for. But then he also, this little guy, he gets into the Eucharistic miracles, and he's on the side of the road telling people about Lanciano. And, you know, it's been just fun.
That's incredible. I wish I lived in South Dakota to stop by this delicious stand. Gus, what do you love about Blessed Carlo Acutis?
That he was peaceful when he died.
Wow. So that really stands out to you. He was so young and he really faced a lot of hardship, but he kept his peace, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And what about you, Tilly? What draws you to Carlo Acutis? Why do you like him so much?
Well, I like how he loved God's creation, and I love God's creation too. He loved animals and computer games, but also he used that stuff for God's will.
Yeah. What do you think about the fact that he is so young and that he was only 15 when he died? What do you think about having a young saint?
That's just so cool to me. I'm like, what?
It really is so cool. It's so incredible. Well, now that your tickets are booked, you are going to Rome. What are you the most excited about for Rome and his canonization?
Gelato.
Spoken like a true Italian. That sounds incredible. And Allie, is there anything else that you wanted to say? I mean, you'll be able to be there in Rome and witness his canonization as well.
Yeah, I think for any Catholic, it's a huge historic moment, and we're excited to be there, you know, especially Blessed Carlo is such a great example for any parent with young kids. You know, my kids are playing Minecraft, and I can talk to them about how Blessed Carlo would, you know, use technology. I'm also partial to and excited for the canonization of Pier Giorgio Frassati, but, you know, so I think just for our whole family and for Catholics all over the world, it's exciting.
It is, and you'll get 2 for 1 with this canonization. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us, and what an exciting adventure for your beautiful family. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Finally, tonight, the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops shares a prayer on Labor Day for the dignity of work and the rights of workers. It reads in part, "Make us attentive to those who seek work but cannot find it. Help us to listen to the struggles of those who work hard to provide for their families but still have trouble making ends meet. Open our eyes to the struggles of those exploited and help us speak for just wages and safe conditions." We thank you for watching tonight. Remember, you can follow us on social media, Facebook, X, and Instagram at EWTN News Nightly. I'm Montse Alvarado. Good night, and God bless you.